Well, we might be stuck in here a minute. Pretty good storm overhead. Get comfy. This month's Scioto River Co-op video is about the REI Half Dome 2 Plus 2-person backpacking tent. I am here with newly first-time backpacker, my son, who went on his first backpacking trip last week in Colorado. What was the weather like on that trip?
Nasty.
Explain what you mean by nasty.
It was hailing at our start and raining.
And raining, that's right. But we had you in an REI rain jacket, which was very useful for you. And we went on anyways. Or we got up to our campsite right at the falls, and we found a pretty good spot and we set up our tents. And Uncle Andy, we set up the REI Half Dome 2 Plus 2-person tent.
Yes.
What did we do though once we set up the tent? What happened?
Well, it started raining, but we kept ourselves entertained in there, and we played some Go Fish.
We did play some Go Fish. Who won the Go Fish game?
You?
That's right, I did. I won the Go Fish game. But I think what we want to talk about here is Grayson telling us about the rain and the weather for this tent. We're sitting inside the tent. We were probably stuck in there for 3.5, maybe 4 hours.
Or maybe 5.
Or maybe 5. It was 3 or 4. Maybe 3 tops.
Or 2.
Could have been 2. Who knows? And it was raining substantially for all of those 3 hours. Not a overt downpour, but definitely rain. And in the Half Dome tent, I noticed it stayed quite dry, cooled quite well. This isn't the first trip I took it on in the rain. I also took it on Cirque of the Towers loop with Sage, and we got stuck in the rain in there for quite some time. Again, held up quite well, and we experienced the same vent issues. One problem with the design of this tent is the vents over top that help air circulate into the tent and then kind of cool the tent or let any hotter air that gets trapped in the ceiling to escape. So we've had this tent out in a bunch of rain, and the only thing I don't like is sometimes right there on the little vents, water will collect right in that depression down there. And then if we don't get it perfectly balanced or tight, water will collect up here too. If those vents were not locked up, there's a little tab that helps push them up and it velcros in at the top. If those guys were not locked up, water would have a place to collect and drip down on that tab, and then it would drip down inside the tent. The other problem is if we put that tab up, the water and the fabric right off the side would begin to pool. And then when the water pooled, it would drip through, and it didn't kind of shed off the edges of the tent. So I felt like that vent design was a problem. But we're talking minimal drippage, and for the amount of rain we encountered, I would say that it was very, for 3 or 4 hours, I would say that it was a very good tent in the rain. What is this, dude? Is that sun illuminating your face?
Yeah, as soon as we're about to leave.
On our last day, we get the sun. At least it'll be a good send-off, I guess.
As well.
Now we can't decide if we're gonna go buy showers, sneak showers, or drive 300 miles stinky.
Sneak showers.
Let's go over some stats for the nerds. What do you say, first-time backpacker? All right, stats for the nerds. This is a 2-person tent. It's slightly larger than most 2-person tents, hence the plus in the name. Packed up, weighs 5 pounds and 5 ounces. I don't think people would call that ultralight by any means. When it packs down, it's only like 7 inches around like this. However, I think it was like 2.5 feet. No, 20.5 inches, so just shy of 2 feet packed. But I'll tell you, when you have it on the bottom of a bag or something, it does seem a little larger than most other tents I've had. Not a problem, I guess.
But the 8% tent is the biggest one because we took it to Rocky Mountain.
8-person tent, more like a cabin that you make into a tent. That was crazy. We would not take that backpacking. That sucker weighs like 45 pounds, dude. We would not carry that. All right.
But I weigh more than it.
You do by a pound. It'd be like carrying you around the whole place. All right, so let's go over the pros, the good stuff about this tent. Ample amount of ceiling pockets and plenty of headroom at the top. It is a little bit larger. Good places to stash headlamps, any sort of beanie or whatnot you might need to set in there. Stop booming, people. Anything you might need to set in there. There's extra room over a traditional 2-person tent, but you pay for it in the weight. It cools well, stays very dry in storms. And also the design of the doors on the vestibule that sticks out off of each side of the doors is very well designed because it zips off to the side, up and over into an arch, so it allows plenty of room for you to get in and work around any gear you might be trying to store under the edge to remain dry. Two bad things about this tent. The vent design on the roof allowed for a little bit of rain to drip in, and then the packed down dimensions and the overall weight. With that being said, it's another video from Side River Cop. Yeah, I love this tent. I'm not a big ultralight person. I'm doing mostly 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5-nighter here or there. But this tent was perfect for all those things and held up quite well through various nights in the elements. Thanks for stopping by. We'll keep loading videos as we have time.
Life is heavy, but it just won't stop. Life is fragile, but it won't give up. It cries for us. And I can feel it in my bones, and I can feel it all around.
Bye!
Don't flip up the deuces. Flip up the deuces. A little flick of the hat.